Are you interested in becoming a sterile processing technician and just trying to figure out the best way to get your training and start towards that career? The demand for sterile techs is growing rapidly, and it's a great time to get started towards this rewarding career. However, here's something that most people don't know about. You could become a sterile processing technician in as little as 6 months. Without going back to school, without those big price tags or student loan debt, without driving to some campus every day. Guys, and that's the reason I'm making this video. I'm not here to give you some random or outdated advice that you could find anywhere on the internet. No, I'm about to reveal the exact system that's helped hundreds of students start towards their sterile processing tech careers in just a few months. So if that sounds interesting, here's what I'm gonna cover today. How to get the right sterile processing tech training for less than $2,000. How you could get real life clinical experience even before you start working. How you could get certified as a sterile processing tech within a few months. The truth about those 400 clinical hours that everybody talks about, and why most people get this completely wrong. And resume boosters that could help you stand out even as an entry-level candidate. Okay guys, look, this isn't gonna be some basic overview. What I'm about to share today is a step-by-step blueprint that's already helped students like Joel and Dominique and Corey and thousands of others to start towards their dream careers in healthcare and without going back to school. By the way, I'm Grant. I've been featured in multiple publications for my work in education. My mission is to help students transition into new careers faster and without those big price tags. Now, let me share why sterile processing tech is one of the most unique careers in healthcare right now. You see, while most healthcare roles typically require direct patient interaction, sterile processing techs play a critical role, but behind the scenes. These professionals are responsible for ensuring that every surgical instrument is properly cleaned, sterilized, and ready for procedures. Without them, surgeries simply cannot happen. And when it comes to career opportunities, the data looks very promising as well. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, sterile processing techs can make close to $50,000 annually. You'll typically find employment in major hospitals with state-of-the-art sterilization departments, but most people think that sterile techs only work in hospitals, and that's not the case. You could also work in outpatient surgery centers, dental facilities, specialized surgical centers, and even medical device companies. I feel like if you're someone who likes the idea of being in a critical part of healthcare, but without that patient interaction, then becoming a sterile processing tech could be perfect for you. So the question is, how do you get started? Well, I've found that there are 3 key elements that could help you succeed as a sterile processing tech. Let me break these down for you. Number 1, proper training. This is really where it all begins. The right training is the foundational piece towards that new career. Hospitals need techs who understand the sterilization processes, can identify the different surgical instruments, and ensure everything runs smoothly inside the sterile processing department. Well, the right training program sets the foundation for your career. Number 2, certification. After your training, you take a standardized exam conducted by nationally recognized bodies like the HSPA. For sterile processing techs, the HSPA conducts the CRCST exam. When you pass, you're a certified registered central service technician, and you can proudly say that you hold a nationally recognized certification. So guys, obtaining this certification is crucial, and I can't stress this enough. A certification is typically a key requirement in the eyes of an employer, as it tells them that you've been tested and validated by the industry's leading authority. Number 3, hands-on experience. Finally, getting some hands-on clinical experience could be valuable. Honestly, this is more of a resume booster because having real-life clinical experience in an actual healthcare setting could just set you apart as a beginner. Now, you might hear people say, oh, you need 400 hours of clinical experience to get certified and obtain the CRCST certification. you're completely worthless without it. But guys, that's not entirely true. Here's the deal. To obtain the full CRCST certification, you need those clinical hours. But there's a secret that most people don't know. You can still get what is called a provisional certification without those clinical hours. So essentially, after completing your formal training online, you can apply for the exam under a provisional status. When you pass the exam, you get a provisional CRCST certification. After that, to obtain the full certification, you've got 6 months to get those 400 clinical hours of experience. Look guys, the key is to pass the CRCST certification exam and get the right training. That's the most critical part. When you do this, and with a provisional certification under your belt, you can then apply for jobs and tell them, hey, I've got my provisional CRCST certification and I've completed a formal training program and I'm ready for an entry-level role. Think of it as getting a head start on your career. You could actually start working right away with your provisional CRCST. Then when you're on the job, you'll naturally complete those clinical hours you need. Once you've got them under your belt, you just submit them to the HSPA and boom, you've got your full certification. It's a pretty sweet approach and not many people know about it. Now, as I said, it all starts by enrolling in the right training program. This is the first and most important step. Your training program prepares you for the career and the certification exam. So the question is, how do you get the right sterile processing tech training and what are your options? Well, I'm glad you asked. There are 2 main pathways that you've got here. Option 1 is on-campus college education. This has easily been the most popular option, and most people would tell you that if you want to become a sterile processing tech, well, go back to school. But guys, unfortunately, there are some big drawbacks that are associated with a full-time on-campus education. You know, personally, I feel that this old approach of going back to school and enrolling in a program at a college or vocational school is completely outdated and unnecessary. Let me explain. Drawback number 1, the big price tag. The cost associated with full-time programs can be really high. The cost of tuition could go as high as $10,000. To afford this, students might have to rely on student loans or even financial aid. And hey, if you take on debt, it could take years of hard work and turmoil just to pay it off. But the tuition is not even the full cost. There are tons of associated expenses on top of your tuition. Textbooks that cost hundreds of dollars, lab fees, parking permits every semester, gas money driving to campus multiple times a week, and if you have kids, childcare costs while you're in class. All these little costs add up to thousands more on top of your tuition. And by the way, guys, don't worry. As I said at the start, you can get your training and you could be job ready for less than $2,000. I'll talk more about that shortly, so make sure you stick around. Now, here's another big problem with that on-campus education. Drawback number 2, long course duration. These programs typically take 9 to 12 months to complete. So if you've mentally prepared yourself to start a career as a sterile processing tech, you could have to wait for a full year just to complete your formal training. Plus, with a lot of these programs, you typically have to wait around for semester start dates. Basically, they'll tell you, our program takes 12 months to complete, but our next semester starts 5 months from now. Totally absurd. Drawback number 3, fixed schedules. With these programs, all your classes are scheduled. Think about what that really means. Driving to a campus multiple times a week, sitting in scheduled classes that frankly don't care about your work schedule or your family commitments. Oh, and if you miss a class, you start lagging behind. For a busy adult looking to switch careers, this old traditional model just doesn't work. The one good thing about an on-campus education is that if you do it through a university, you do get a university certificate for your education. In healthcare, a university certificate typically does command a lot of respect. If you've got a university certificate hanging on your wall, well, people are gonna respect that. Now, the new approach that I'm about to share with you today will help you get a university certificate four-year sterile tech education, but without enrolling in some campus program. I keep telling you that this approach is totally game-changing, and I'll tell you all about it. Just hang on a little bit more. But before that, let's talk about what option number 2 is for your training. Online programs or local classes. Because of all the problems that we've seen with on-campus education, a lot of people have started exploring online programs or even some local classes. With online education, you do get that flexibility and convenience that you simply don't get with those on-campus programs. And they're typically faster, but there are some concerns that you should know about. First off, many of these online programs aren't through an accredited source. Some company or some random bloke on TikTok might tell you that they'll help you get your sterile processing tech training, but that doesn't mean that their training is through an accredited source. Getting your training from an unaccredited source could raise red flags in the eyes of an employer. Second, with these programs, the curriculum could be outdated and not in line with the latest HSPA guidelines. That could really leave you in a tough spot where you're not ready for the CRCST certification exam. Also, some students find out that they're not even eligible to take the exam after they've completed their training. Finally, some of these online programs still force you into scheduled Zoom classes, so you're still stuck with those rigid schedules just through your computer screen. So let's quickly recap the 2 main training pathways. With college programs, the cost is too high and it takes too long. And with most online programs or local classes, you either risk getting subpar training from an unaccredited course and not be ready to take that CRCST exam. Look, with either of these traditional options, which I call the old approach, you're forced into a lose-lose situation. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Grant, what am I supposed to do then? Well, guys, there's a reason why I asked you to stay until the end, because a few years ago, I saw all of this and I knew things had to change. Busy adults need something better. So I set out to create the ideal template for sterile processing tech training, something that's designed for the modern busy adult. Here's what that template looks like. First, it has to be 100% online and self-paced. No more rigid schedules, no more choosing between your job and your education. You should be able to study when it works for you, whether it's 5 a.m. before work, during your lunch breaks, or on the couch after putting your kids to bed. Second, your training must be from an accredited source. This has to be non-negotiable. If you could get a university certificate for your training from a reputable, prestigious university, well, that would be ideal. Third, your training should prepare you for the CRCST certification. The program should align perfectly with the HSPA guidelines so that you're ready to crush the certification exam. Fourth, it needs to be fast. No fluff, no electives, just laser sharp training that helps you get job ready. And ideally, it should take just 3 to 4 months. And finally, it's gotta be affordable, preferably less than $2,000. Quality training shouldn't put you in debt. So guys, what do you think about this template? Here, I'm gonna pull it up on the screen, and I want you to take a hard look at this. How do you feel about this? With this template, we've combined the best of both worlds, but minus all those problems that come with the old approach. Now the question is, what if there was a program that was designed this way? It'd be awesome, right? Well, I've got some exciting news. We didn't just imagine this program, we made it a reality. Yes, a system like this actually exists. We call it the Preppy approach. The Preppy approach has already helped thousands of students start towards their healthcare careers faster. Let me share some of the student stories. Meet Joel. Before Preppy, Joel was already working and was looking for a career change as a sterile processing technician. He worked during the day, so he wanted a program that could fit his busy schedule and decided to go with Preppy. He really enjoyed the program and feels ready to switch to his dream career. Meet Corey, a stay-at-home mom who wanted to get back into the workforce. She says, "Thank you, Preppy, for giving me an opportunity to take the next step in my medical career, which I so badly wanted to do, but felt I couldn't because I still have young kids at home. This made it completely available for me when I needed it. I finished my coursework and it's only up from here. Trisha was looking for a career change. She was contemplating going back to school, but since she was working full-time, that would have meant putting her life on hold. Trisha was impressed with the in-depth training she got with Preppy and feels job ready for her new career. These are just a few examples, and with Preppy, we're on a mission to revolutionize training for sterile processing technicians. The Preppy approach is not just a training program, it's a step-by-step system designed to help busy adults like you get job ready in as little as 4 to 6 months. So how do you get started with the Preppy approach? Well, all you need to do is enroll in Preppy's Sterile Processing Technician Training Program. All right, guys, pay close attention because I'm about to go in depth with everything you get with Preppy. 100% online and self-paced. With Preppy, you have complete freedom from classroom education. Your training is 100% online, giving you the convenience of learning from the comfort of your home. Life can get busy. You might have a job, kids, family commitments, or other responsibilities. I feel those traditional training programs can sometimes force you to choose between your life and your education. With Preppy though, that problem disappears and you can move through the course at your own pace on your schedule. You can study in the morning before your kids wake up, during your lunch break at work, or even on the couch at night. Your schedule, your rules. You don't have to stress about your job or worry about expensive childcare during lectures. Your training fits your life and not the other way around. Next, Preppy's program is in partnership with an accredited university. You know, guys, earlier in the video, I touched on the importance of a university certificate in healthcare. It typically commands a lot of respect and is considered one of those best things for your resume. However, to get that university certificate, you typically have to enroll in those on-campus programs with all the hassles and expenses that comes with it. But that's not the case with Preppy. Preppy's program is in partnership with a prestigious nonprofit accredited university. When you complete your training program, you get a certificate of completion from this accredited university. With Preppy, you're not getting a completion certificate from some random organization that no one's ever heard of. Essentially, your training is through this well-known accredited university. And you're getting a certificate of completion from this university. Think about how proud you'll be of yourself when your coworkers see that certificate hanging on the wall in your office. That feeling when you can confidently say you got your training through a respected university. Next, it's faster. Preppy's program is self-paced, meaning you could complete the program in as little as 4 months. Not years like other programs, months. With Preppy, you get laser sharp training focused exactly on what you need to know. And as I said earlier, no one wants to spend months in school, and students today, well, they want to start those careers faster. And with Preppy, you can do that. But we also understand that some people may need more time with their training. And plus, life happens. Kids get sick, work gets crazy, things come up. And that's why you've got complete access to Preppy's program for a full year. You can pause, take breaks, and pick up right where you left off. No missed classes, no falling behind, and no stress. This just gives you the freedom to learn at your own pace and revisit lessons multiple times if you need to. With Preppy, you're in complete control and you've got the freedom to learn on your terms. All right, moving on, and this is a big one. You are ready for the CRCST certification. With Preppy's program, you get all the skills to crush HSPA's CRCST certification exam. After completing your training with Preppy, you can apply and sit for your certification exam to get that awesome CRCST certification. Being certified could give you that competitive edge, helping you stand out among other candidates. Our program is updated consistently to stay in line with the latest HSPA guidelines. guidelines. Additionally, our program is divided into multiple lessons, and it comes with interactive quizzes that mimic the questions you could see on the certification exam. Our program is also beginner friendly, so even if you're new to healthcare with no experience, you can easily go through the program. Our interactive slides, presentations, videos, and quizzes are designed to help you learn step by step. Now guys, something to note here. As I mentioned before, to get the full CRCST certification, you need 400 clinical hours. Now earlier, I highlighted how you could get the provisional certification first and then get the hours while on the job. However, we've included something in Preppy's program that could also help you towards meeting the 400 clinical hours requirement. With Preppy, you're eligible for an externship opportunity. With an externship, you'll typically experience what it's like to work at a local hospital or a healthcare facility, and you could get the hands-on experience in an actual sterile processing department. We help students coordinate these externships regardless of where you live across the United States, and it's available nationwide. Externships are valuable because they could give you that hands-on clinical experience, which you can then cite on your resume and potentially use towards your 400-hour requirement. So essentially, in addition to your formal training and certification prep, you're also eligible for us to assist with obtaining real-life clinical experience. And finally, there's one more thing. With Preppy, you get job assistance services. When you complete the program and meet certain criteria, our team will work with you to help schedule interviews and connect you with companies looking to hire sterile processing technicians. Look, like I said earlier, Preppy's not another training program. It's really a radical new approach to help you get job ready faster. All right, to summarize, here's everything you get with Preppy. 100% online, self-paced training, university certificate, ready for CRCST certification, eligible for an externship opportunity, and job assistance services. Guys, in this clouded landscape where so many organizations are offering subpar training programs, with Preppy, you get something that's totally unique, something that is designed for the modern busy adult. So how much does it cost? On-campus programs are absurdly expensive, and some online or local programs also come with big price tags. Preppy, on the other hand, is insanely affordable. Everything I talked about is included. There's no hidden fees and no hidden costs. Everything you would want in a sterile processing tech program, well, Preppy takes care of it, and at an insanely low price. Guys, you can also enroll using payment plans as well. Ultimately, Preppy gets the seal of approval from students across the country and industry veterans. Today, you can finally take the first step towards starting your dream career. To check out our program and enroll, you can click on the link below, and I'm also gonna add it to the pinned comments as well. Listen guys, I totally get where you are right now. So many of our students were exactly where you are, just trying to figure out the best path forward. On one side, they had these traditional programs that just weren't designed for busy adults. Programs that wanted them to put their entire lives on hold or drive to campus every day and spend thousands more than necessary. And on the other side, they had these random online programs making wild promises but offering training that might not even be taken seriously. They were looking for something different, a program that could give them quality training without the big price tag, the flexibility to learn on their own schedule, and most importantly, a clear path towards starting their career. And that's exactly why they chose Preppy. So guys, just take a few moments and imagine that a few months from now, you could be walking into a sterile processing department, proud to be part of the surgical services team, working with the latest sterilization equipment, knowing you're keeping patients safe, ensuring everything is perfectly sterilized, and building a real career in healthcare. Think about that feeling of accomplishment when you could see your CRCST certification hanging on your wall, getting your first paycheck as a sterile processing professional, being proud to tell people what you do for a living. All of this could be possible, but the first step is to get that right sterile processing tech training. And if you like what Preppy has to offer, well, you can click the link below and enroll today. We'll also pin the link for the program in the comments. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. If this video was helpful, well, please hit that like button. It really helps grow the channel. And hey, if you want to learn more about different healthcare careers and opportunities, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications as well. We're constantly sharing valuable information that could help you start your dream career in healthcare. So guys, that's all for today. This was Grant signing off. Take care.